All right. Exciting times. The energies are extremely high right now for a reason. And anybody that's in a body can feel that right now. So I'm just coming on to do a little bit of support call and share some of what I'm seeing with myself, with humanity, and with clients and friends that I work with and have conversations with. Um, Things are definitely ramping up and things are coming into the light. Things are getting exposed. Things are a little bit intense, so to speak. I can definitely feel the energy today. Usually, when most people say, yeah, the energies are so intense, I don't really feel it because I don't know why, but I can definitely feel it in the last few days. And along with everything that's being exposed, what I'm seeing is an escalation or acceleration in synchronicities. And I'll share one thing as an example. I live outside of Chiang Mai, which is in northern Thailand. It's kind of like a digital nomad capital. A lot of people work online there and a lot of English speaking people. It's a really cool city. And I used to live there for a few years, but now I live outside more in nature. And some of you may know I work with the wild dogs every day. But yesterday I went into Chiang Mai to do a session with somebody. And when I finished, I was killing a little bit of time before I was possibly going to meet up with another friend that lives there. Well, I got on my motorcycle and I didn't put on my helmet because I only put it on when I'm on the freeway. So I just had a hat on and I pulled up to this intersection where all these cars and motorcycles were going by. And this person pulled up right in front of me and took their helmet off. And it was some guy that I met on Facebook that lives in the UK outside of London. He'd purchased my book and had been sharing some of my YouTube videos. And I'm like, what are the odds of that? Okay. So what I'm sharing is a lot of these similar frequency events and synchronicities have been showing up with people that are here to join together. What ended up happening is, first of all, I was blown away. He's like, Jeff. I'm like, what? And then I didn't realize who it was until he took off his helmet. And then it was a friend of mine named Peter Gilligan that I met on Facebook. And so we ended up going to this coffee and juice garden. And we sat there and we were just like, man, synchronicities and sharing and ideas for moving through this shift and serving other people and really doing what we love. We were there for 3.5 hours. And so my point is, yes, it can be intense right now, but also, really tune in and ground yourself every day. And I'm sure a lot of you are doing that. I'm not acting like I'm the only one or I've got it figured out. But things are accelerating. And if you feel yourself being a little bit uneasy or caught off balance, that's when you use your breath. Or what I do is, and I share this with all my clients, I consciously and intentionally create how my day is going to go first thing every morning before I get out of bed. Before those 50 to 80,000 thoughts start running, which they're always running. We're always running a program. The key is to use the tools of conscious awareness and be really honest with yourself and see which programs you're running that are benefiting you and which programs that may not be benefiting you. Because all of us have a survival system built in. We've been here many, 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 many times, and we've gone through some deep stuff. And so there's that survival mechanism inside. There's the ego that wants to feel safe. So we've got this belief system that's really tiny. All our beliefs came from outside of ourselves. Our beliefs wouldn't even fit on the head of a pin compared to what's out there in this incredible quantum universe. So it's really important to really tune in with where we're at and how we're feeling, and the energy and focus that we're putting on what we would like to experience moving forward: connections, relationships, abundance, inner healing. So, the title of this video is, Are you clear on your mission at this pivotal time? Are you focused on what it is that brings you joy? Because that's really important. And how can you serve the collective and share your own unique gifts that nobody else has? And do you believe in the power of what you're holding within, even if you're not really sure what to do moving forward? Like, you may be in a job that you don't like. You may be involved in a relationship with somebody where there was once a lot of loving connection, and now it's like the person's just not really willing to go as deep as you are. And so you're, seeing that and feeling that and observing it. And at the same time, really looking at, are you projecting something that's unhealed or uncleared in yourself onto the other person? Or are you just going, wow, we came together, it was part of a soul contract, and now it may be time to move on. Doesn't mean you can't still be friends, doesn't mean you can't still support each other, but basically, are the people that you're aligning with and that you've been friends with or family or in relationships with, are they on the same mission as you? Because when you get really clear on your mission, and it doesn't have to be that you can't shift or change it at any time, but like for me, it's like creating high vibrational music, working with any animals that I can serve or rescue, because I love being in nature and it just opens up my heart. And then taking people through this waking up in the dream transformational experience. Those are my three main missions today. It could change tomorrow, and they could change in relation to what's the number one importance. To me, it's kind of all three of those have an equal balance in my life, and I pretty much do those every day. It took me a long time in my life to figure out what my mission or missions were, because I was in survival mode. And I had to spend so much time working a job just to pay my bills and survive. Now, luckily, I'm in a situation where I'm as free as I've ever been. And because I'm doing what I love, the synchronicities and the right people and stuff are just showing up every day. And yesterday was a perfect example. I mean, a guy that I'd never met before shows up and sees me in traffic. And I mean, in Chiang Mai, we're talking about a lot of traffic. So the odds that this person saw me, and it could have been 1 or 2 seconds different, we would not have connected. So we both know that that was a synchronistic event. You could call it a divine appointment. I don't know. But it was so like obvious that we decided to go sit and really chat and explore what that was. And so we're still in the process of that. He may be coming up today to go walk with the wild jungle dogs, which I do every morning. And I've got some medicine to take up there. It's 8:44 a.m. So let me go into the comments here. And hey, Sarah, great to see you. So since these are like support calls, this isn't just Jeff telling you, what you should do or whatever. I'm exploring all this myself. I'm not above or below anybody. We're all in this together. If this resonates with you and you're like, if you have a question, like I'm not sure what to do or what my next step is, pop it in if you'd like. If nothing else, we'll all blast you with some good energy and honor you for showing up, So where do I go from here? It was basically to come on and just share that, number one, if it feels really intense right now, that's a good thing, even though it might feel intense to the body. But it's going to bring things up. And what it's doing is it's accelerating the awakening on the planet. So like for me, I'm looking at, is there anything within my human vessel that feels uncomfortable or feels like a part of something that may need to be healed, because there's layers of all this stuff that is still coming up to be met, and just, just met with real presence, not necessarily having to figure it out. This is really key to inner healing. And inner healing is really, really a huge part of being able to move into higher vibrational timelines. Because if we're still holding lack of forgiveness, or we're still holding traumatic wounds or resentment against our mother or father or an ex relationship partner that we feel did something to us, then here's a little key that I found that helps people clear it and move on to a higher level. So number one, you don't have to believe this, but I'm going to present this as an invitation because it changed my life and the life of my clients. And so what I've come to realize is, I'm just checking because I think that's my friend that's coming up here that I was just talking about. If you can go into looking at anything that happened to you as, okay, I chose this as part of my soul contract. I chose my parents. I chose every single person that shows up in my reality. And they all have a gift to give to me. Even if I don't like it, I chose it as part of my soul contract. If you're open to this, it will be your get out of hell free card. Because now, instead of being in resistance, you're going to ask the 5 magic word mantra that's in the book, Waking Up in the Dream. Hey, Catherine, great to see you. What is the gift here? I would write that down if you haven't already. What is the gift here? What is the gift here puts you as the responsible person in your dream as part of your soul contract, and now you're not a victim. You might not like what happened. You might be triggered initially. You might be into judgment. It might have triggered a wound, something they said or did. They might have not been a nice person. But isn't that interesting that that showed up in your reality? And now you're observing, you step back, and you're like, okay, that just showed up. And if I'm open to the possibility, you don't have to believe it yet, that every single thing that shows up in your reality is part of your soul contract, then you're in a position of power where now you're the conscious observer instead of an automatic reactor. Automatic reactors tend to be judgeaholics. I definitely was. I was taught to be a judgeaholic in private Catholic schools with angry nuns, where every day was judgment day. Every day. And that was part of my soul contract. I didn't know it at the time because I didn't know about conscious awareness and these things. But even as a 7-year-old young boy, I could feel in my frequency, my intuition, something was very wrong. My best friend and I, Mike, we were always the ones in trouble. Why? We were straight A and B students. Why were we always in trouble? Because we were questioning everything. And that was built in to my DNA or whatever this time. And it got me into trouble, but it also got me to be able to see the programs and to have the courage to go and look within when I kept looping in, whether it was through alcohol, drugs. I was a recording engineer. We were partying all the time. It was just part of the thing. And also, to be honest, killing pain, kind of checking out and, exploring, listening to music with lights and lasers on and fog machines and going to concerts and frickin' partying. And that was part of my learning, my experience, until I learned that alcohol is not really the best thing for my frequency. It just isn't. And so the invitation is for everyone to begin to really closely examine what their mission is. And if they don't know, then just ask your higher self, or ask yourself, what would I be doing if I didn't have to pay to live on the planet, which is coming, because we're never supposed to have to pay to live here. So it's coming. Trust it. Not only trust it, but see it when you create your reality first thing every morning and before you go to bed. See those timelines because they're already here. But in order for us to match those timelines, like think of all those dots as a timeline, 5D, 12D, whatever D. I don't know what the numbers mean. It just means that it's beyond this timeline, because anybody that's probably listening to me right now already knows that 3D, everything's inverted. Almost everything's been a lie to keep us trapped and looping through these reincarnational cycles of low frequency where we've been slaves. People have been feeding off of us. We had a birth certificate, which is fake. Our birth certificate was sold to the royal crown under the King and Queen of England, which is all fake. And I'm not going to go too deep into that because most of the people are aware of this. Hey, Linda, thank you for showing up and thanks for posting your comment. So yeah, the main thing is, if anything I say is way out there and you might think I'm crazy, just observe and use, instead of going into judgment, here's another 3-word mantra that will save you a lot of drama, and it'll keep you out of judgment, because most people are judgeaholics. Everything's set up to keep people separated, Republican, Democrat, I like this, I like that. Separation, that's how they feed off everybody with their frequencies. And now, this time has been prophesied for thousands of years. There's an awakening going on. You can see it everywhere. Everything's coming up to be exposed. And so this 3-word mantra is super powerful. And it goes like this. Isn't that interesting? If you can teach yourself to become the conscious observer instead of being an automatic reactor, your frequency is going to start going up, up, up. And what's going to happen is more synchronicities and more of like-minded people in your soul family and abundance and inner healing. It's going to start happening at a very accelerated rate. When we're automatic reactors, our frequency's low, we're in our ego, and we're going to keep attracting and having to experience those same things that we judge and that we automatically react to, that is not a reaction that comes from love, joy, kindness, compassion, or excitement. Those are all super high vibrational states of being that will attract in more of that. So if we think of ourselves as walking, talking, vibrating magnets, then the only thing to do is to be willing to put ourselves under a microscope gently and go, okay, do I have anything to heal? Do I have anyone to forgive? We've all got trauma, okay? Many people are still not willing to look at their inner wounds simply because it's not their fault. It's because we haven't been taught how to go in and heal. And a lot of people are in survival mode, so they don't really want to look at something that's really uncomfortable and painful for them. You know, it gets locked away. You know, when my dad died in a plane crash when I was 7 and I was the only kid in school without a dad, that was freaking traumatic. When I found out my dad was never coming back, when I found out that day that the crash happened, I couldn't process that as a 7-year-old boy. I went into trauma big time. And it took years to feel safe enough and to work with people and to be guided into going into that. I mean, I knew my father loved me. That was obvious. But that little boy wasn't able to process that trauma. So just coming into the human body is traumatic. Think about this. We're unlimited divine beings. We have no disease. There's no age. We don't have to pay to live on the planet. No disease, none of that. We don't have to eat food. It's like everything is just, we're the observer, we're the creator. And then we get this opportunity to come down to planet Earth to be here at the most incredible time of great change ever, and come down and support and hold space for all these other people, and then end up having this incredible celebration because it was the most challenging roller coaster ride of inversions, deceptions, thrills, spills, challenges. And then we knew at some point we would wake up. Well, to be this incredible divine being and have to lower our vibration to come down into this human body is freaking traumatic. I mean, just being born is traumatic. I was pulled out with these big metal clamps wrapped around my head. They wrapped around my head and pulled me out of the womb. I mean, come on. Hello, welcome to the planet. And then, because my mom was Catholic, love you, Mom, then I was circumcised, which is one of the most traumatic things that can ever happen to a male. So all this happened within the first 24, 48 hours of me being brought into the planet, okay? It's like, WTF, what the hell, you know? So anybody that's here right now is a frickin' hero. You're a god. And if that triggers you, like, oh, I can't say that. Look, I grew up in the Catholic religion. That was part of my soul contract, so I could see the inversions, to give my power away to somebody outside myself, to go into confession and feel shamed, and then to give money hoping that somebody would throw me a bone. I mean, it's inverted. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying, believing. I truly believe in Christ consciousness, higher level love, but also, I truly believe in throwing the deceivers out of the temple, the money deceivers and all that stuff. So, I don't really get into religion a lot because I've been down that road and that was part of my teaching. So I could see the program. I'm not saying it's all bad if you're, new to what I'm sharing. I'm saying question everything and understand that there is nothing outside yourself that's going to heal you or, give you the money or throw you a bone. You have all the power. And you're so powerful that you chose to come down here and forget how powerful you are and be willing to go through this, which is, there's no more challenging ride on any other planet that I know of. And there are people watching from distant galaxies that are cheering you on, and they're going, oh my God, today on this season of New Earth, Jeff frickin' figures out he was still holding a wound, or he connects with somebody from the other side of the planet synchronistically that 1 or 2 seconds any other way they wouldn't have connected. So it's like when you see how this dream works and you see that it's all frequency, vibration, and attraction, then you go, okay, I better figure out how this works. Because if I'm automatically reacting and I'm not consciously and intentionally claiming my reality from the heart, then it's going to be all these different frequencies and things that are going to show up. And a lot of them I may not like. But the journey's built in if you're willing to look at your stuff and be honest and put yourself under a microscope, then you can start to see which programs you're running, which limiting beliefs you're running, that the belief system is a prison. Our beliefs aren't even our own, none of them. And our beliefs wouldn't even fit on the head of a pin, or they wouldn't even show up in a petri dish if put under a microscope, compared to all of the unlimited knowledge and galactic stuff that's out there. When you figure that out, you go, oh, I see how they keep everybody trapped, because everybody has this tiny little belief system. And if anything challenges it, then they have an automatic reaction because the ego feels threatened, because it thinks it can remain in its false sense of control. There is no control. There's only conscious awareness and frequencies. And so that's why I created this process, because I studied with some people and I read a lot of books on manifestation. None of them worked, because none of them taught me how to go in and clear the subconscious belief that I was holding of money is difficult, money is hard, money is bad. I learned that. I didn't learn money is bad from my family, but I learned money is difficult. I grew up around lack and fear around money. It's the biggest program on the planet. All the money's fake right now. It's how they control everybody, having to pay to live on the planet. Okay? All of this stuff is being exposed. Hey, Diane, it's Waking Up in the Dream, and it's available on my website, and I'll pop the link in here for you. And I've also got a YouTube channel where you can go, watch my stuff. Here's the link coming by on the bottom. It's portal2awakening.com. And you can also go watch a lot of free videos, hours and hours and hours, where I explain this stuff on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/portal2awakening. So thank you for asking. So, hey, Elaine, great to see you. Thank you for being here at this time. We're all doing this together. Nobody's above or below anybody else. I'm just passionate, and I come in on here and I do my, you could call it a rant or whatever you want to call it, but you can tell I'm passionate, because I am, It's like there were times when I was ready to check out on the planet. I was like, there's got to be more to this journey than pain and suffering. And so there were literally times when I was in my garage with a gun to my head, because I just knew things were inverted. And I was like, I'm either going to figure this out or I'm leaving, because this is not right. This is not love. This is manipulation. And so luckily I found a couple teachers. I saw that my belief system was the prison. And then I realized that you must go in and do the inner healing. There's no way around it. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to address this because I just got distracted, but it's a good distraction. I love when people ask questions, because I kind of know what I'm going to say, because I've got these three pieces: inner healing, dismantling the belief system, and then consciously learning to create your reality every day. And notice when you get distracted. What can I do about finances? Learn about what your limiting beliefs are that may be creating lack in your life, because it's a program, because you are infinitely abundant. And it's only if you're running a program that money is hard, money is difficult, or you may not be currently sharing your unique gifts with people to where they've just become attracted to you. And it took me a long time to figure this one out. And so the tools are in the book, but I'm not necessarily trying to sell you anything. It's just that currently, as we all know, we have to kind of pay to live on the planet, but that's coming to an end. But if you're not attracting abundance, then there's a story around it. And these tools will help you. If you're willing to put yourself under a microscope, and you end up getting the book, which comes with this tracking sheet. And this tracking sheet will perfectly guide you through your belief system. You'll start catching them. Every time you have a lack thought, you catch it. And there's a process I teach where you stop. And instead of just running the story, you go, what is this trying to show me or teach me? And here's the thing about why this process is so powerful. It's because we cannot heal a wound or trauma or dismantle a limiting belief unless we can see it. Once you can see it, you're like, oh. You got to be able to see it and be willing to go, okay, well, man, I'm running this belief that money's hard and it's difficult and I got to work really hard. I see people use the spell words, hard, difficult. And I've got a whole chapter in the book on the 9 most. Hey, Rob, great to see you, brother. Yeah, willingness to learn, a willingness to go, okay, here's another 3-word mantra that'll change your life. Maybe. If not, you don't have to take it on. For me, it's I know nothing. It doesn't mean you don't know that love is the answer and that you're a divine being, but as far as the ego is concerned, and I have everybody that I take through the journey that does a mentorship with me, I have them name their ego. I name my ego Larry because Larry was the judge. Larry was the one in fear. Larry was holding shame and guilt. Larry was in lack. And so I named Larry so I could see him when he was running his program. And that's part of the book. It's in the book or the online course, which comes with PowerPoint trainings that I put together. So you can see what Larry does, i.e. the ego. You can name your ego any name you want, and you can change the name at any time. But if you name your ego, you'll be able to start to begin to see when the ego tries to take control and runs its old reactive fear-based programs. And then again, you cannot dismantle a limiting program or belief unless you can see it. You can't heal a wound or trauma unless you're willing to go in and look at it. And the way that you can find most wounds and traumas is to ask yourself, am I holding a wound or trauma? Am I still angry at somebody else in the external? Because if you're holding anger, that's a low frequency. So you're going to keep attracting people and events and situations that are holding that same frequency. It's really simple when you figure it out, but it does take practice to undo lifetimes of possible layers, beliefs, and we've been persecuted in many lives. You know, I don't remember my last life, but I recorded somebody because I've been a recording engineer for many years, and I recorded a hypnotist. And she loved the session. So she said, Jeff, you did a great job. Would you like a free session? I'm like, okay. So she lies me down and takes me through the process. And she says, it seems to me like they slit your throat in your last lifetime because you were sharing truth. And I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. I'm doing the same thing in this lifetime, only I'm still alive, you know? So we're progressing, it seems like. And there really is no such thing as time, and I know that's a trip, but in 3D, things are slowed down so that we can navigate through this journey that we chose, this roller coaster ride. And if you're here right now and you're listening to this, you obviously chose to come here and be here at this time. I don't remember the decision. I had to forget all that stuff. But through everything I've been through, and now that I'm using these tools every day, the people that are showing up in my reality, there's no mistake. And when you begin to take accountability and go, okay, I'm willing to look at my stuff. I'm willing to question every single belief that I have. And I'm willing to heal. Everything is going to shift for you in your reality. Everything. I guarantee it. It can't not. Because now you're operating from a space of the conscious observer. You're basically zooming out. And instead of like being in it and you're running all these programs and reactions and judgments and I don't like this and that are based on any wounds or frequencies or limiting beliefs that you're holding, now you start to uncover that stuff. And as you do, your frequency raises and you start to attract people. It's just like, it'll blow your mind. And in the beginning, you'll go, well, was that synchronicity or was that just a weird connection? Because there's no doubt that that person is on the same frequency as I am. And there's no doubt that the abundance just is coming to me without any hard work or struggle. You know, that's a 3D program. Money is difficult. Money is hard. No pain, no gain. That's an inverted 3D bullshit program. If you're believing that, I invite you to get rid of that real quick. Because if you think no pain, no gain, that's exactly what you're going to experience in order to attract abundance into your life. I love you, Lisa. Lisa's on. I so appreciate you and the posts that you share. And here's another thing around synchronicity, folks. my feed in my Facebook feed, because, you know, we all like to resonate with things that resonate with us. My entire feed is filled with incredible souls like Lisa. I'll put her name up again if you want to connect with her. So people are either sharing, they're exposing, they're shining the light on the things that are going down with, you know, the pedophiles and the, you know, the poisonous vaxes and, you know, fake money and all this stuff, or they're sharing tools for healing and raising conscious awareness. And when you start to tune into this, you're just going to start to attract all these people that are here to support you, that are part of your soul family. And you just start to go, wow, this stuff works. And then you're like, okay, am I consciously creating my reality first thing every morning while my head's still on the pillow, before those 50 to 80,000 thoughts start running that are going to get done anyway? I got to get up. I got to put on a pot of coffee. I got to get the kids ready for school. I got to check my email. I got to pay my internet bill. All that's going to get done. But the majority of people wake up and then they allow the external to tell them what kind of a day it's going to be, instead of consciously and intentionally telling the field what kind of day it's going to be. I love on every cell in my body first thing in the morning for serving me and unconditionally loving me, even though I put it through hell with shame and guilt and drugs and alcohol and motorcycle accidents and beating myself up. So my body's just loved me unconditionally. So that's the first thing I do, because every cell's listening to me. It can hear every word I say. So I smile and I love on it. And then I create my day, and it goes something like this. Magic and miracles show up in my day, in my reality, every single day. The most incredible people, clients, teachers for me, abundance, people to create incredible things with, that'll help other people, that we're passionate about, shows up in my reality every day. And I never see it in the future. I always see it and feel it. Keyword feel is here now. And anybody that's heard anything about manifestation knows you never see it in the future. You never use these spell words that are in the bonus chapter in my book. Want, wish, hope, need, try, should, going to, and then hard and difficult. Eliminate those 9 words. I know spelling is all spells, but these are the 9 most common words that everybody uses over and over. Even people that are like super spiritually awake, way smarter than me. And they're still using, yeah, I need to do this. I'm trying, I'm going to. The subconscious can only take a direct order. Your desire is either here now or it's not. Figuring this out will change everything in your reality. You can tell people, yeah, I'm working on creating this program, you know, and the goal is that it'll be done in the next 90 days or whatever. But when you create your reality first thing every morning and right before you go to sleep at night, you are instructing the subconscious that it's already here now. Because if you instruct it that it's in the future, the subconscious is going to go, okay, it's not here yet. It's still not here yet. So you basically kind of have to learn this trick where you program it with, it's already here now, and I can feel it in every cell in my body because I know how this works now. And I don't allow any limiting belief to come in and go, yeah, well, you just heard that from this guy that told you, but it's not really here yet. No, you got to learn this. And once you do, it'll change everything in your reality. Oh, I love you. You know, I wasn't going to come on today because I'm like, I just did a live yesterday and it got a lot of great feedback and a lot of love. And, you know, and I'm like, do I really have anything to say today? But I woke up at 3 a.m. and I'm like, are you clear on your mission? And I actually got out of bed at 3 a.m. I turned on my phone, which I keep in airplane mode in another room. And I made a note to myself because I know if I don't, I'll probably forget it when I wake up. Thank you, Lisa, for being here. You rock. And I intend that at some point we all meet in person for a massive celebration. and then almost brings tears to my eyes because it's so powerful and it's so heart-based. It's like, yes, we did this. We did this. Okay, Sabrina, hey. Just got continuously catching myself, changing, centering. This is the only game in town. Raising our conscious awareness and doing the inner healing is the way out. It's the only way. There's no way around it. You can't be all love and light with your crystals and your incense. A lot of people are avoiding the inner healing again because they don't know how to do it. And so I'm here to assist people. My door's open. If you're interested in that, I'm happy. If you resonate with somebody else, like a woman or something, there's a lot of people out here that have the tools that, can do it. But so thank you for sharing this. The painful roar of others is louder than ever. The ones we are attached. Yeah, I get it. But here's what's great. Finding it interesting that I can be derailed, even though it's a short thing, meaning she comes right back if I think I'm understanding. So yeah, it isn't, see, isn't that interesting is the observer instead of the reactor. I can't stand these people that are showing up and that, see, that's you're sucked in and it's just going to keep looping. Finding it interesting and observing and coming back and going, okay, I just got triggered. I just felt pain or whatever. Great share. Thank you, Sabrina. All right, we got some new people in here. Renita, all right. I love it. Okay, so this is great. And somebody in Florida that I met on, every deep connection I have came from Facebook currently. Because I've been living in Thailand for 9 years, I speak very little Thai. And in my little community here, it's mostly Thai people. So all my really deep connections are because of Facebook. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg. Thank you, George Soros, whoever. Anything that was set up to enslave us or to manipulate us it's all crumbling. But there's incredible people on here. So Renita, if I'm pronouncing your name right, she brings up something really important. Because a lot of the people that reach out to me say what she says, which that just opens my heart so much. I really appreciate your talks. It took a long time before I would come on here and hit record and go, do I really have anything to say? Who cares what Jeff says? But the more I've been using these tools for 20 years and taking people through this process for 10 years, this stuff works. And I'm all about fast. What's the fastest way to heal, to dismantle my limiting beliefs, and to be able to create and manifest the life, abundance, and relationships that I desire, that are our birthright, that we came here to have. And to me, these are the tools. So she says, I really appreciate your talks. I am alone in my thoughts, and your community makes me feel sane. So here's what I'm going to say. The woman that I met in Florida, who's like an animal whisperer, an amazing woman named Sandra Mendelson, she mirrored me. We were on a call the other day, and she said, people really need a community. They need somewhere to go. Because a lot of people reach out to me and they go, my family's asleep and everybody in the town that I live in is asleep. And so that means that you're exactly where you're supposed to be because you're holding that frequency. I know I'm really animated. I got a lot of energy. I can't help it. And it's great because that energy, when you understand how to envision and hold the frequency for your soul mission, whether it's music, art, helping children, conscious awareness, working with the animals, then everything just shows up. I could tell you thing after thing after thing that's happened just in the last 30 days about people showing up to help with the animals because I don't have a car. I have a motorcycle. I love riding it every day with the wind in my face through nature. And now I've got people to help me take the dogs to get them spayed and neutered and when they need surgery and all. This stuff just starts showing up when you understand how to consciously and intentionally create your reality. And I'm not saying it like nobody else out there. No, this might be kindergarten for some people, but this is the starting point. So Renita and anybody else, I'm going to create a community where we're going to be able to come in. We're going to be able to collectively set our intentions, affect the quantum field. We're going to be able to do inner healing and share things like that in a safe, non-judgmental space. We're going to be supported in anything that you desire to do. And there may be, a monthly donation or something. I haven't figured it out yet, but it's coming. So stay tuned and it'll be on my page. And if you'd like to know about it, I don't send out a lot of emails, but if you go to the website, portal2awakening.com, this little thing will pop up, and I don't have it pop up right in your face because I don't like that, but it will pop up after maybe 10 or 20 seconds. And then you can just get on the email list. I'm not really I sign up for other coaches because I like to see what they're doing and learn from them and stuff. But most coaches are doing this 3D thing where they just send an email or two every single day. And they might be like they've been told that, yeah, it's all numbers. That's not the right frequency for me. I'm not going to pummel people with emails. I don't like that. And maybe I'm not attracting as many people, but the right amount of people are coming to me, and I trust in that. So, yeah. So this is great. Another great share by Lisa because she's on it. And I love the feminine divine, and I'm a big protector of the feminine divine because it's built in. And I'm also a protector of the children. I'm super passionate about that, and the animals, and just in Mother Earth. Okay, so seeing and breaking patterns all around me, energy's moving quickly. I've been through several dark nights. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that, because what I love is when people engage on these calls, other people realize that they're not alone, and it's not just Jeff talking, so that's why I really invite comments. And it's really interesting because every time I've done these lives, as soon as somebody leaves the first comment, then everybody else feels like it's safe. It just creates this community thing. So thank you to everybody that's commented. And Linda's got a comment in here about Robert Tennyson Stevens, conscious language. Yeah, it's conscious awareness is the only game in town. That and inner healing. It's it. It's why I do this. And so thank you for sharing. So I'm going to create some type of group thing. I don't know what it is yet, but it's percolating because we're ready. And there's lots of other groups out there that are great too. And, you can be in a lot of different groups. But if you resonate, then if you're not on my email list, and I haven't even sent out a, hey, 33 years old, came to Research Gang stalking. Oh, cool. Okay, great. On YouTube, did you see? Because I'm live on YouTube right now. I'm live on Facebook, and I'm live in one of my old Waking Up in the Dream groups that I don't know how to change it to my newest group, whatever. Anyway, I'm glad you found us, and welcome. So yeah, so I'll send out an email as soon as I figure it out, but I haven't even sent out an email in probably like 3 or 4 months because I changed email servers and services. And what I realized was a lot of my emails, thank you for clarifying that, because, I don't have massive following on YouTube, but it's a good outlet and a lot of people find me. So thank you for sharing that. So I switched my email server, and what ended up happening is a lot of my emails are going into the spam folder. So people aren't even seeing it. I've had 3 people reach out that wanted to do mentorships with me in the last 30 days. And apparently they don't have a Facebook page, so they must have seen me on YouTube. Well, usually if somebody wants to get on a free call with me, which I do, if you're interested in doing a mentorship or a session, I'll do a call with you to explain it to you for sure. No pressure, no sales. But they didn't have YouTube, Facebook or Messenger, so I can't send them a direct message. Well, so I emailed them, but 3 out of 4 didn't get back to me because I guess my email went into their spam folder. So this whole spam thing is kind of tricky. So if you're interested in connecting with me or anything, reach out to me through Messenger because it's the best way to connect. Anyway, okay, so I guess I'm going to wrap it up here. And what I will share is, if anybody's interested, and I take people through 30-day mentorships and 90-day mentorships, and we go deep. We do a call every week, which is recorded, so you can go back and watch and observe yourself, especially during the first couple of weeks where you're really using the sheet and you're starting to really see the automatics come up. But also, as far as just like a normal coach or mentor does a call every week and then you talk to them next week, anybody that journeys with me has 24-hour access to me in Messenger, because it's really important as you start to see the program and things start to come up that you have support and you don't have to wait till next week to do the next call, because you'll forget. So you reach out to me and go, this is coming up, and I'm like, boom. And I may be in a different time zone, but as soon as I wake up, I will respond. And this is the quickest way to do stuff, to have access to a mentor or a teacher, whatever. I don't really like the labels because I'm not above or below anybody. Everybody that journeys with me, they're my teacher too. And any good coach or mentor is going to consciously be learning all the time, because there's levels and levels. We're still in nursery school. When the majority of people say, I'm awake, what that means is I figured out that the government and the systems are lying to us. That's like awake 101. Then you move into the inner healing and clearing wounds and trauma, which were part of your agreement to come here. There's no shame in it. And I journey with people that have been raped, molested, MK Ultra'd. I mean, and you know what? Those are the people that took on the hardest life lessons. So they go on to be able to hold space for people at the highest level. So whatever's happened to you, there's no shame, there's no guilt. You chose it, and you are a frickin' rock star. And so I just honor you, and anybody that stayed on this, and anybody that, shares this. If you feel that anybody would benefit from this, then please feel free to share it, because we're all waking up. The frequencies are coming in to support our healing and our expanding of our conscious awareness. And this is one of the greatest times in recorded history ever, or in history ever. So I give you all a high five. Big, big love. If you're interested in, doing a mentorship or a session, reach out to me. Or if you just have a question, reach out to me. And thank you for being here at this time. So I'm on my way to go see the wild jungle doggies, give some medicine, but thank you. And, what's your mission? What's your mission? What's your passion? What would you do and give away for free? Because it's coming. We're not going to have to pay to live on the planet anymore. And don't be one of those that goes, I'll believe it when I see it. That means your belief system is running you, and you don't understand that I see it already. It's here now. I feel it with every fiber of my body. Then you'll see it. Be very careful about that belief system. Yeah. So anyway, big, big love from Thailand. And yeah, stay excited. Stay excited. Say thank you as many times throughout the day as you can, and watch how your frequency begins to magnetize in just synchronicity after synchronicity after synchronicity, because that's how it really works. There's no struggle or hard work in 3D. There's no dis-ease. There's no lack. And there's no separation. Everyone is you. That was a big one. When one of my mentors told me that, he said, Jeff, everyone is you. I was like, what? You even mean the bad people? Yeah. And these bad people could actually be the highest level ascended masters that came down here to play their role as the bad guys right now to wake everybody up. Because nobody would be waking up if you didn't see how dark and inverted everything was. So the bad guys, we need to forgive all of them because we can't hold any anger or resentment towards these people. They're going to be taken care of, and they're going to be either removed from the planet or recycled for crimes against humanity and children and the medical industry and all these inversions. It's going to be handled, but we need to forgive them. So it's just interesting to look at them and go, maybe Fauci or Bill Gates is an ascended master that came down here to wake everybody up. I don't know, because I know nothing, but I'm questioning everything, and I'm holding a frequency of love every day, and I'm consciously and intentionally creating my reality. And when you do that and you hold yourself accountable, boom, everything shows up. End of transmission. Big love from